Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Greg. Pretty much, I wanted to give you an update as to how things are going, and pretty much how things are going for me and my family. We're doing pretty well, praise God. None of us are sick. We don't have no sicknesses or any symptoms thereof. Pretty much, I was able to get another purifier, air purifier. That way, I can be able to present to other people who might need some. And I'm gonna do a video on that coming soon. In regards to I'm about to travel over to my job, and I thought I'd just give you some of my personal thoughts and opinions about that next couple of things that have happened in the last couple of days. So the last time I talked, I was talking about so we had gone grocery shopping, and I come back from that. That was a couple of days ago. It's like almost a week since the last time I spoke. But for the most part, though, I'm just getting the car ready right now, and it's a rainy day here in New York. It's overcast. There's nobody. There's not many people outside. There's let's see. I'm gonna get my vehicle ready. My windows and my mirror. Mirrors. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go get me something to eat real quick. Pretty much because it's like this is a different time for me. It's on. Right turn coming up. Go do a little something here. Keep going and traveling. And so pretty much just wanted to say, that this is a couple things have happened over the last couple of days. Well, nothing like severe, but in terms of our job and the work scenario that we have to close at different times. Close at different times, and my job that I work at is considered an essential business, and because we provide things for families, we provide many things for families, and one of the things that we provide for them is what places to go, things to do, and then also one of the things that we we do is that we help them with supplies as well as medical, the masks and the Clorox and things like that to help us with cleaning up and preparing people for things that they need. So anyway, long story short, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm getting to work. I'm gonna go to work, but first I'm gonna go pick up something that I might be able to have as a snack. Oh goodness, as a snack or food for later because I'm gonna be there for a long time today. So for the most part though, it's like early morning, and it's like right now it's 7:35, and there's a lot of lights up ahead. Lights up ahead. Looks like the streets are very okay. There's an ambulance approaching. Let's see if I could get this. Oh goodness, I just disconnected my arm from the thing. Let me see if I can just retighten this real quick. Yep. Okay. Oh goodness. This before okay. Let me see if I can get this arm all tightened back in. All right. One thing I want to talk about was saying in regards to what we're going through and the virus. There's an aspect where I want to say don't be afraid, because you know what, God is in control. God is in control of our life. There's many people who are very scared right now, and I'm trying my best not to be scared, because it's Jesus said not to be afraid. He said not to be afraid. He said don't fear. And there's so many verses that say don't fear, don't fear. Now why did God keep telling us not to fear? I guess because there's many things in this world to be afraid of. This world's a very fearful and scary place. And this mirror, this thing is okay. This world's a very scary place, and yeah, you have, especially when the things are swinging like this. Okay, so what happens is the world's a very scary place, and one of the things that makes it scary is that the uncertainty of life. And we know this. We know this just from life itself, that things don't go according to plan. And I'm traveling, and it's Sunday morning, and we're dealing with all kind of things, and all kind of fears. People are scared. We are scared. We're scared people. But at the same time, that we're trying not to be scared, because God promises He'll protect us and be with us. There was in the Bible, it talks about how you have the Egyptians and the children of Israel that were in Egypt, during the time of that, and it had 10 plagues that went over them, 10 plagues that passed them by, and the 10 plagues that passed them by, the last plague being of which freed them from their persecution from the Egyptians, from Pharaoh and his regime. So the thing is this, we are in control. We're in control of trusting God. That's the only thing we can really be in control of. We trust that we have the feeling to trust Him. Like they say about our attitude and our actions. So one of the things is that we have to be very careful in regards to what we say and what we allow into our lives. there are many people are afraid because they don't know what else to do. And it's a natural reaction. I mean, you have a lot of things happen. There are people who are dying from this thing, you know? And every day they keep talking about how the coronavirus this and the coronavirus that and how much it is. And yeah, you know, they do this for like this. But the reason why, you know, many of us, why, you know, I, for the most part, I'm not overwhelmingly afraid of all of this is because, you know, you have this thing where they bombard us with so much information, right? And remember they had the whole Mueller report and the collusion thing and all these different things. But what happened is this, you know, they just kept on bombarding us with that and saying that this is the absolute truth. This is the absolute truth. This is absolutely what needs to be done and what has to be said, or what, that he is Trump is involved with all this. And they keep just bashing the man. But it's like honestly, he just, you know, how would you be as president? You know, we've had all these presidents, all these politicians that are there and they're doing their thing, and they're doing their you know, their oh, we deserve this and give us this kind of approach. But the bottom line is that, you know, they've been there for so many years. They could have prepared for this. You know, Joe Biden and Barack Obama could have had all these things ready. They say, you know, we had Ebola and H1N1 and all that stuff during their time. You know, they could have been better prepared for this. I'm gonna order something right here. What should I order?
Working, can I help you?
Hi, good morning. I'd like to order number one, a number one meal.
Number one,
Yes, please.
what size? Medium or large?
I'll have a small.
Small with orange juice or coffee?
I'll have it with
Sorry?
with coffee.
With coffee. That's it?
That's all.
$6.90.
Thank you. That looks really nice in there. They haven't been there forever, you know. Everything's all shut down, so I guess they could do all the work. Oh goodness, of course. Okay, so oh goodness. And so for the most part though, it's like here we are, here am I, and here it is. You know, all the different things that we're doing. I want to show you like there's so much to talk about, and you know, pretty much just how it works. Like you have all these things that we're dealing with and working on. You know. Thank you. And then so for the most part though, one of the things that I just wanted to say is like, you know, like, oh, there's a fire truck. Oh, okay. There's a fire truck right there on the other side, an ambulance and stuff. It's kind of blocking, and there's the bus, and I have to back up to go out the other way. Most likely, let me see. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Alright, so I'm gonna have to like back up and go out the other way. Or go that way, I guess. Yeah, gotta do that because this is a fire, not a fire truck, but the ambulance is right there. So let me get my butt to work. I was hoping to be there by 7. Okay, but anyway. So how are we gonna do this? I'm just gonna have to go straight and then do a little turn thingy. Oh, I got an idea. I'm gonna probably just love you too, baby. Turn thing here and go out this side of the street. Alright, so here we are on my way out, and so I stopped by Burger King, and that was great. Got a chance to get some stuff. Let's see, right now the roads are clear, and I'm just traveling to work. Anyway, so just want to say that pretty much that there are so many things that, you know, when I was listening to the radio, there's like so many things I want to say, and it's like it's hard to kind of, you know, think and talk and drive at the same time. So what I'll do, I'll just try to just take a moment and just think what I want to say first. Okay, here we go. For the most part, though, you have it where they've been attacking Trump on everything that he does, no matter what he does, good or bad, and because of that, it's not fair because What would you do in a situation like this? Like, again, the man had never been a politician before, but he's done a real good bang up job in terms of the economy and everything. And the reason why we're able to survive and have all these benefits is because, for the last, like, almost 4 years, he's been, like, really doing a good job of helping us get more money in our pocket and helping us as a nation to be able to survive something like this. So that when we got hit, they had to tell people to kind of not go to work, not go to work here, stay home because, we're trying to curb the spread of this virus and stuff. But for the most part, there's an aspect where it's like, they really, they really shouldn't have shut down everything because it's like it's going to be hard to start it up again. They were saying that the people who are going to suffer the most from this, we who are going to suffer the most, are the middle class, because they say the rich will always be rich no matter what. The poor will always be poor no matter what. Sometimes the poor crosses into the rich or into the middle class range, and then the rich kind of descends down into the middle class range. But for the most part, the rich will stay rich. The poor and so what happens in middle class, because we're the ones who make the business, they say about 60% of all businesses that come from the middle class, and it's the middle class that's kind of like doing all the work that's there to to help people have jobs and keep the engine of this world running. So when I go to work myself, it's like I thank God for the opportunity to still have this job and be able to be here, and for the most part though, to have it where I can actually go ahead and keep helping industry, because there's one thing, it's like almost like the Titanic. It's like on Titanic, there was a thing where they kept the ship. There were people who in the bellows of the ship keeping the lights on, and they had to keep putting shoveling the coal and stuff into the fire to make sure that they had lights on for as long as they possibly could. So with that said, it's like one of those things where you're not sure exactly how important your role is until you realize how important your role is. Like, who would have think that working at my job that I work at, I try not to mention the name of my job because I'm not supposed to advertise for my job. It's we're not supposed to advertise for it. We're not supposed to. So I was called at the office or my location. But those of you who know me know where I work. So for the most part, though, it's one of those things where we're not supposed to advertise for them. But for the most part, one thing we found is that you have this thing where as you are working, so you're helping society, and you realize how important your role is, because if we all just stayed home, right, even essential business stuff, then nothing would get done. Eventually the trucks would stop, and when the trucks stop delivering, you know then there's no one to unpack the trucks, and there's no product to be moved, and there's no one coming to the store to buy stuff. Eventually the gas stops, eventually everything stops, and when the truck stops, so stops all the food. So here we have it. There are people who have essential businesses and things they have to do, and incidentally, as they do it, they're helping society continue. So we know this. Now, back to what I was saying before about with Trump, it's like you have a thing where they continuously bombard him with information, and he's a solid dude because he's able to handle all this. I don't know if I can. I mean, he just hits it right back, and then he makes it so that you can't just go and say whatever you want to say and not be well aware of the fact that you're gonna say whatever you say without being challenged. And I pretty much I find that I find at first, like, when I was growing up as a kid, growing up from a kid to adulthood, we were always told about being a good testimony and being a good testimony and letting people, for the sake of the gospel, you want to make sure that people don't look at you and you're not, like, trying to be a jerk to anybody. So what happens is that you're doing your best to be a good testimony and not firing back, and so that's got me to a lot of trouble, let me tell you, because what ended up happening is that you end up starting a war on yourself. But the Bible talks about how Jesus, when he was attacked, he reviled not. When he was rebuked, or people said things about him, he didn't give an accusation back. And it says, how he, when they said something against him, he said he'd give it to the Lord, who judges the quick and the dead. Who he gave God the final authority, and that's actually helped me out a lot too, because when you're not fighting with people, God fights for you. But there are some times where you have to let people know the situation and what you're thinking about. They say, you know what, I got to tell you straight up what's bothering me, because if you don't tell somebody, you create a war in yourself, and the war that you create in yourself is worse sometimes than the war that you would actually just have short-temporarily just dealing with another person. So what ends up happening is that you just kind of bottle up and have these feelings and these emotions, and they start manifesting in all kind of non-righteous ways. It's impossible, because whatever I tell my wife and my kids this, that whatever you put in is going to come out. It's going to come out somewhere. So if you put garbage in, it's going to come out. It's like if you eat nothing but garbage, your body's going to respond accordingly. If you do nothing, if you watch nothing but garbage or nothing but foolishness, what happens is that you're eventually going to have foolishness and garbage coming out of you. So what happens is, if you put good stuff in, you're going to have good stuff come out. So when you get bumped by something, or somebody comes and it really messes you up, what happens is that instead of bad stuff come out, good stuff will come out, because you've been full or filled with good stuff. So it comes to a point where if you have the bad stuff of people talking negatively about you or saying things negatively to you, and just keep bombarding you, and you just kind of internalize it, what happens is that eventually it's going to come out. It'll come out on somebody else who you think is weaker than you, or somebody else who you don't consider to be like on the same par, or things like that. So what happens is that you eventually attack. You become like a bully yourself. And so what ends up happening is that it comes out when you least expect it because you have unfinished business to deal with. That's why the Bible says we need to be everything like seasoned with salt. And it talks about how if the if the salt loses, we have the salt of the earth, and if the salt loses its flavor, loses its savor, then it's good for nothing but to be trampled under the foot of men. And that's very scary. It says that you're useless. God has no purpose for you if you're unable to maintain and control yourself. But at the same time, though, we have to give and be willing to let him take this pain from us. There are times where you have to just say, let me be strong and talk to the person who hurt me. If this person really hurt my feelings or hurt me in the core. Somebody just said something the other day, and it would really hurt somebody that I know. And it's like the person never said sorry, never apologized for it. And it's like, and so we're just waiting and asking God to give us wisdom what to do because we're going to deal with this thing that they don't, deal with it first. So that's one of the things. And it's like I've come to a point too. I had a situation with somebody I knew for a long time, and it was just like this person was so negative to me. And I tried for many, 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 many years to try and work out a situation where I get a chance to, he said, okay, listen and be kind and all that stuff. And finally I said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done fooling around with this. I had to kind of put an end to the situation. And that's what it does. That kind of takes away, you had the chance to all these years to deal with this thing. And finally it's like, you realize the person doesn't care. When you realize that people don't care, it makes you understand better. It's like that thing about, they say that the friends that you got to worry about are the ones that you're not sure about. Like the ones that are considered to be ambiguous. They say there's the ambivalent people where they don't know anything, just kind of ambivalent, they're clueless, it's like oblivious, ambivalent. But then you have the ambiguous people who are ambiguous, right? And what they are you not sure where you stand with them, whether they're your friend or your enemy. And so because of that, they put you in a dangerous situation. So you kind of trust them like a friend, but then you start realizing that they're not your friend. So how does this go back to what? So then what you have to do, you have to deal with those people in your life. You have to know a person loves you and that they love you, willing to go and fight for you, willing to help you, and you're willing to help them. And the feeling is mutual. You got going back and forth that you guys matter. We have a couple of people in our lives that are just really like that. They're willing to risk life on them just to help us out. There were times where we were going through a situation when we were leaving the institutional church that there were some people who immediately just fled away. They all got scared and ran away. When we left the institutional church, the brick and mortar building church to become part of the organic church, like the organic fellowship, So what happens is that, instead of it being like, we're just talking to your friends, you're not sure where they stand anymore, and eventually just kind of fell off the end. So we started reading a book called Pagan Christianity a while back, and it talked about how there's a lot of practices in Christianity that's not based on scripture, but based upon the culture of the day, and it's kind of like a creeping in. And there's many things in that, it's like a religious syncretism. A religious syncretism is where you kind of mix stuff into things that don't belong, just so you can, make peace with the people and not want to offend them and stuff. So you actually compromise the integrity of the scripture. And there's many things. So one of the things we were like talking to many of our friends to kind of get involved in, just kind of read the book, Worst case scenario, read the book. Because we were going through a time in our life where we thought, you know what, we really looked to our leadership, our church leadership, and they really started to really mess with us. And so we've always had a thing with, when the leaders who are supposed to be the best examples start falling away, you start saying to yourself, oh goodness, these leaders are not really great examples. And you start saying, well, what are we supposed to do? So then you realize everybody's just, human. And being human, they have human troubles and human fallacies and human problems and humans. And then you got to give people mercy. But at the same time, though, when they start demanding like perfection from you, and you can't demand perfection from them, then it starts becoming one of those things where it says, you're not fair. What are you again? I kind of rambling it, but my point being is this, my point being is that you have many things where what life is about. What life is about making decisions, and that trusting and asking God to direct you, because you're not sure exactly what's going to happen from moment to moment. So with regard back to what I was saying with Trump, when Trump he has an enemy or somebody comes to attack him on his character or his personality or the job he's doing, he just fires that missile right back. Wow! Right back at the people. And they always thought they were going to be like some kind of dictator and stuff like that, but he's actually been really, really like understanding, and the fact that they have this daily meetings and stuff like that about the coronavirus thing, that's been really good. A lot of people have been listening to that and finding that, you know what, this guy, he's a person. He's a person willing to talk, willing to, willing to be vulnerable. Because I mean, like, who goes to become president for the power? I mean, there's some people who do that, but for the most part, though, majority of people who they hope to change something, but he's really doing the stuff to change something. I'm not trying to, to like squirrel, I'm trying to, just promote him as, as the one who saves the world or anything, because that's Jesus' job. But one thing you find about it is that he's helped a lot, and when we get through this crisis and stuff like that, and the stock market goes back up, Lord willing, because there's also a possibility that everything may be broken and may not come back. Oh goodness, this is a giant puddle right here. Ah, giant puddle. Okay, let's go this way. Is it the center part? Oh goodness, don't flood. Giant puddle. Oh goodness, why did I even take this way? Giant puddle. Okay, cool. So, all right. So then, what happens is like there's a thing where yeah. So saying that he's done a lot of things in terms of so he's actually the first person I know to actually go to the March for Life, and that was something amazing to actually go there. But God is in control, so you have to really just trust Him, because we're not sure exactly what's going to happen. We're not sure. I'm just excited about the fact that we have an opportunity to shine here, and that my little insignificant role at my job, which is not insignificant, in fact, it's actually a big deal, helps my family to survive and encourages other people. And I hope to ride the storm until the very end of it. I hope to be there to where I can actually be, to say that, God has protected me and my family through this whole thing until they shut the store down or something, And I hope that doesn't happen, but for the most part, though, I just hope that be able to be able to do this and be an encouragement to those who are listening, at least, that, hey, you know what, don't give up, don't be discouraged. God says, as I look to the hills from whence come my help comes from the name of the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to be moved. The God of Israel neither slumbers nor sleep. He doesn't sleep. God doesn't sleep. He'll protect you on your way in. He'll protect you on your way out. As you go through the city. My verse is, finally, brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of His might. And what happens is that this verse is powerful to me because it's not my strength that I'm strong in, not my ability, not my wisdom or anything like that, but the fact that to be strong. He says, don't be afraid. He says, I the Lord is my help, of whom shall I fear? What can man do unto me? And there's always been pestilence and always been sicknesses, and there's always been viruses and things like that all throughout history. And there's always been people to survive it, always been people to go through it, people who died from it, people who live because of it, people who are immune to it. I know that this is a season right now, it's really cold and dry. For the most part, though, I just want to say thank God for the opportunity to be able to have this job and be able to ability to vlog and to see what's going on. So, just want to say that. I made this really cool fish. I want to show you that real quick. I made a cool fish, and fish, black sea bass, baby. Big black sea bass. Yep, that's my fish. Okay, and so, almost to work. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening. I'm going to park this car soon. Thank God for this job. Thank God for my wife and my children. Thank God for God is stronger than fear, that we can be strong and we can have a testimony that God is going to deliver us through this. And even if He does deliver us through this, we know that God is still good because He's able to do great and wonderful things. For the most part, though, great and wonderful things for us. And so I thank God for this. So here's my car, and I'll put the blimp in the driveway. Sorry about the whole moving camera thing, I only have one leg of my tripod left, so that's why it's kind of like dangling like sideways. So for the most part, though, I don't know how the video looks like, but so I say I love you, honey. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who else was watching. And gonna land this plane soon. Here we are, empty parking lot, baby. Right. Love you, baby. See you soon. All right, so I'm gonna land this car and I'm gonna go into the office. So I'm gonna stop the video right here. And yep. So you know what I could do? I could actually take you right to the office and see what it looks like, and then I could shut it off. Yeah, let me just park this car and I'll go inside. All right. So let me take my food. Let me go inside. And thank you. God bless you. All right, bye.